slips or something, these are the reports that I read, and I just want to create an environment where I or the fire department can see them and say that in this current environment is so dangerous, not just for women, but for everybody, and it has to change.
Right.
We have to get our politics out of the way and say,
yes.
hey, look, and get real. You know, that has to change.
Exactly. I'm going to look forward to basically maybe we can set up and doing a women's night, a ladies' night here at the office.
Yep.
I think that would be great.
I don't care if it's 5 or 50. Let's do it.
I wouldn't know. We're going to make the list big because, I mean, the women at Central City, we really enjoy it.
Yep. And there's some updates I want to give
exactly.
you.
So,
there's some minor changes in the laws you have to know about.
Okay.
And I'll bring the wonderful people from Peace Over Violence.
Okay.
They came with me the last time. A wonderful officer named Reina Quintanilla, great officer, and some folks from Peace Over Violence gave some information, gave a presentation about 5 minutes, but valuable things just to let you all know we're here for you. You know, I'm here for Skid Row. I'm here for Skid Row.
I know you are. I know that you are. We've talked about mental illness in the Row. We talked about the homelessness, and we talked about the safety within Skid Row. And it all boils down to working together as a unit, keeping each other informed, keeping each other educated, and not being afraid to speak out.
We've been waiting for this partnership with Skid Row for 10 years.
Okay.
And like I said, most of the officers in Central Division, they've been there forever. They're not going anywhere, but we've been dying for the partnership, and hopefully one day it'll come to fruition. Yeah.
Okay. And there's something else that you're having. I think you're going to have annually or periodically the
Trust Talks?
Huh?
The Trust Talks?
No, the Academy.
Oh, the Citizens Academy.
Yes.
Oh, that's another wonderful
Yeah.
thing. A lot of people have fears and reservations about the police based on what's being put out there by social media, what's being put out there by the mainstream sometimes. Also, sometimes from personal experience.
Right.
You know, in my opinion, the majority of police officers are honorable, but you have that negative exception that's out there. As long as you police departments hire human beings, there's going to be some bad apples that get in.
Right.
And those things stick in people's minds and permeate and grow. But the Citizens Academy, I understand that some people's perceptions, it's just based on a lack of knowledge on what police can and can't do. So the Citizens Academy is where we introduce people, immerse them into police work. Once a week, learning what it is, talking to the officers, instead of reading about us in the paper or looking at us on social media or cop block. Hey, you're talking to the officers themselves, and you can hear about it. We talk to you about your rights, your Miranda rights, what we can and can't do, what we're allowed to do, what use of force, experiencing the use of force through an officer's eyes, so you won't judge us as quick when we have to make a split-second decision. We do so many things, a tour of Skid Row, I give people a history lesson of Skid Row, and it's just a phenomenal thing how minds change when they actually are bold enough to step and see the other side. And you may not agree in the end, but I'm happy because now you have an educated opinion, not one that's based on hysteria or the hype of the day.
Exactly. And one of the beautiful things about it, once again, just how your heart is, you openly invite Skid Row residents.
From Skid Row.
Skid Row residents. I'm looking at it.
We did not want this to be where we just invited rich people or people
or educated
people. Man, we wanted Skid Row to come, and man, the first Citizens Academy we did about a couple years ago, we had 75 people show up, and about 35% of them was Skid Row residents.
That's right. And
I love that because it gave credibility to the things we were talking about. Because when I spoke, if I was lying, you know Skid Row gonna call me.
Oh yeah, they don't.
And they were in agreement, and they were actually helping to educate people about the reality. There's no media involved. It's just here's the truth, and man, it was just so beautiful. And then this time we had a few Skid Row residents show up as well. So if we have another one, Skid Row, I'm inviting you. We want you there.
Yes.
We don't want to exclude you from anything. We want to come together with you. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, I mean, you know, Skid Row Talks is all about just sharing informative information, giving back information to the community. And so I believe we're covering a lot of groundwork, and we're breaking the barriers. We really are. And I'm very excited for the progression of what Skid Row Talks is about to do within the community, because that's what this office is all about. You know, we go to any and all levels. Officer Joseph, I just want to thank you for your time. But before I close, I just want to ask you the general question. Officer Joseph, you know about Trump, and you know about Bernie Sanders. If you was mayor of the Row of Los Angeles, What is your hope for Skid Row? What would be your hope? What would be your 5-year plan for Skid Row? If you were the man in charge, not saying the mayor, but just say the man in charge. What if the mayor was sitting right there and said, "Oh, right where I'm sitting"?
If I was the man, wow, there are several things I would do if I had any kind of real power and influence. And the first thing for Skid Row would be to decentralize. And when I say decentralize, I don't want to see one program in Skid Row shut down. They are desperately needed for the volume of people we have. I just don't want to see another one opened up in Skid Row when we have 88 cities in LA County, and only Long Beach and Santa Monica are the only other two other than downtown Los Angeles that are opening its doors to try to help them. We need low-income supportive housing services. We need emergency housing and shelters for families in other cities outside in LA County to take the burden off of Skid Row, because there are people in Skid Row who can't get clean here who do want a safe place to go, a better environment to get clean. And it would help Skid Row because the congestion here would decrease and give the people that choose to remain, because they have a choice, would have a better chance of rehabilitating. Another thing I would do, I would change the 72-hour hold. If I had any kind of power, instead of 72 hours, I'd probably make it a mandatory 2 weeks.
I was going to say it.
And even though 2 weeks is not enough.
But it's stationary.
Yes, it's enough to do two things. Because especially for someone dealing with dual diagnosis, they can detox, right? So you can reach them and deal with the core issue. And then while you're developing that rapport, like the mental health professionals know how to do, then you get to know them, find out who their families are, and start looking towards conservatorships to get somebody to take control and help them and get them housed and get them, and make decisions for some of them that can't. Or if not, if they want autonomy, at least they'll be stable and they'll be able to function better in society during that time. But releasing in 72 hours is a failure.
No, yes it is.
And my last thing, because I know I'm a community cop, but I'm also a crime fighter. For the drug addict, in my opinion, I don't want to see them go to jail for the rest of their life. That's not me. I know they're sick. They need help. They need help with teeth, because what's happening now is, you don't have to go to a drug program. That's not working. That's not working. But for the drug dealer who comes to Skid Row and sells drugs within 1,000 feet of a rescue mission, a drug program, there should be no mercy. There should be a mandatory 3 years, because what's happening now is they're getting right out the next day, and not only do we don't get to enjoy the fruits of our labor of trying to help the community doesn't have relief from the activity. So just for drug dealers who sell within 1,000 feet of drug programs, schools, and places in Skid Row, I believe there should be some mandatory jail time for that. That's my personal opinion. If I had my way, that would be done immediately. And the last things, if I had any power, I would end homelessness. All this money being wasted on these pet projects and stuff like that, that would completely be switched over to low-income or emergency housing all over the state to try to house as many people that we want. And for those that don't want them, we push until they do.
Wow.
That's me.
Wow.
That's my personal opinion as a man.
That's a perfectly well-made plan. That's a perfectly well-set plan, And for anybody that has an agreement on this 5-year plan for the road,
let's touch and agree.
Let's touch and agree. And let's say, where can they contact you, Officer Joseph?
Yeah, well, my cell is 213-793-0740. If you need anything crime-related, quality of life related, you have questions, you want to talk to me in general about Skid Row, I'm open to that. My email is 32511@lapd.lacity.org. And if you want to hit me up on Twitter, it's at Deon Joseph. Just hit me up, and I love conversating and meeting new people and expressing to people what's really happening in Skid Row. It will be non-politicized. I'm not left or right. I'm in the center. And I believe from the center is where we see the truth. So feel free to contact me anytime. All right. And
I'll let you know if he gave me that bean pie, because trust me, I'm gonna put it on Facebook. Let you know I got a bean pie for the officer.
It's coming.
Well, Officer Joseph, wow, this has been a pleasure. We can just go on and on and on and on. And you're very open and very calm to talk with. I can see why you're recommended all over. Colleges, everywhere.
Thank you.
You're a well-rooted and well-rounded officer. I hope I said that right.
You said it right.
But the thunder, you're throwing lightning darts at a lady. So